Alrighty, we're here with the Pirates of the Caribbean 5 ranking video of all 5 movies. This even includes the very brand new one, Dead Men's Tell No Tale. Let's get into this. This is one of my favorite franchises. Some people might call this a guilty pleasure. I enjoy it. I enjoy the mythology. So I'm excited to talk about all 5 Pirates movies and rank them from worst to best. And, of course, let's get into this. Coming in at number 5 is going to be On Strangers Tide. For me, this is the weakest of the franchise. And I have to say that for a lot of things. Villain Blackbeard was such an intriguing idea and played by Ian McShane. I think Ian McShane did an actually pretty damn good job as Blackbeard. But the way they used the character just wasn't menacing. Penelope Cruz in the film was just okay. You could tell they were kind of just trying to go for another Elizabeth Swann character that they did so well in the first film. The thing with this movie is that I think it just, for how short the movie actually is, it's the second shortest movie of the franchise, and it feels like the longest of the franchise. I mean, really, it felt so damn long. The story for this really didn't need to be this long, and it felt like they were just kind of like, oh, the first 3 movies made so much money. We can make a buttload of money with this movie. Let's get this done. Let's see what's happening, and let's make sure that we put Captain Jack Sparrow full front fledged and take Elizabeth Turner and Will Turner out and get them all out of the way. Not what they should have done with this film, because as much as I love Jack Sparrow, he should not be the full front character. It's great to have him in an ensemble because he works so well with everyone else, but with having that, it just seems like a dumb, plotted out mess, and that's what this movie was. Geoffrey Rush's character, Barbossa, was misused in this film completely, and it's really, there's still a lot of fun to be held in this film. Don't get me wrong, there's some great action sequences in here. The score is always fantastic. I mean, what Pirates movie doesn't have a bad score? And of course, the CGI and the mythology they put into this film and a lot of the thoughts behind it are intriguing as well, but it's just not as fun or adventure as the other films might have been. And that's what's a lot of disappointment for On Stranger Tides, and I think that's why the new movie kind of stepped back and said, I don't know if that movie ever happened. Let's not really acknowledge that, except a couple of things. And if you see the new movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Coming in at number 4 is going to be At World's End. Listen to me. At World's End, the biggest problem with this movie is 1, the length of the movie, and 2, how many damn plots they have going on in this film. I mean, really, there are so many subplots and plots and all these threads trying to tie in together, and it just doesn't work out. I love Gore Verbinski as a director. I think he's a fantastic director. He directed the first one and the second one, and for me, the problem with this movie is that so many damn storylines. Too many damn characters. But what At World's End does having a lot go for it is the characters all in here are great to listen to, great to watch. There's great character development here, and seeing Elizabeth Swann become a pirate leader was a great addition to here. Even though it's a little far-fetched just because of how all the characters would be and not really knowing her, it does work in the film, and it's a lot of fun to see. And this movie has a lot of great action set pieces, especially the last one. When all the ships are going around and fighting each other, that sequence is some of the best action set pieces I've seen in a while. And it's very memorable to me. As I was watching it, I was like, man, I really remember this. It's really engraved into my head as when I was a kid, and it really was just fun. The mythology building they did, Davy Jones is the villain in this. Everyone had a great performance in here as well. It's just the plots and all the threads are trying to weave in together just doesn't work out. You obviously brought back Barbossa in this one, which was a really good addition since Jack Sparrow really isn't in the film for the first hour, and when you do see him, it's kind of like an acid trip of where the fuck are we? And for me, it's just there's a lot of problems with That World's End, but there's also a lot of fun to be had. More than On Stranger Tides had, but you know, if you cut up this movie, make it a little bit shorter, you honestly could have made this movie into another movie and gotten rid of the 4th one. But, you know, I understand why they did it. They didn't know they were going to make another one, so they had to do this. And, you know, At World's End, it's a fun time. It's a fun ride. It's just it's a long ride to be held. Coming at number 3 is going to be Dead Men's Chest. I really like this film. It's the second film in the Pirates franchise. It's a fun movie, too. I mean, off the first film, there was a lot of hype for this film because the first one was such a great surprise. And for me as a kid, when I saw this movie, I loved the second one more than the first one. As I've grown up, I've seen that the second one does have problems, but I still enjoy the fuck out of this film. Introducing Davy Jones, the Kraken, introducing that mythology. Davy Jones' crew looks fantastic. I love the shark dude, how he looks. Just all of them, how they all look like different sea creatures is fantastical. And obviously Davy Jones is portrayed and played greatly. Love the CGI they had. The CGI at the time of this movie was fantastic and still looks really good after rewatching the film. The Kraken was, like I said, a great addition, and just this is a great mythology building to the whole franchise. You obviously bring back Jack Sparrow, Keira Knightley's character, Will Turner, Orlando Bloom. You have all these great actors coming back from the first one to reprise their roles. Barbossa's obviously not in this one until the very end when they do all that little magical voodoo shit, but it's a great addition. The set pieces in here aren't as great as World's End because it's obviously kind of the middle one that's building up to be what World's End should have been, but Dead Man's Chest really does keep itself what it is. It's still a very fun ride, especially the island with all the cannibals and stuff. That was just so entertaining. Humor in this one I think really worked. I think the third movie is a little dark, and when they try to mix the humor, it doesn't really work out. It's a little weird, but Dead Man's Chest really had a lot of good humor in it as well, while keeping Davy Jones as a scary, intimidating villain. Coming in at number 2, yes, it's the brand new Pirates of the Caribbean, Pirates of the Caribbean 5, Dead Men Tell No Tale. I really like this film. The more I think about it, the more I actually enjoy the hell out of this film. I think it's such a fun adventure ride, and it really brings it back on board to be something as good as the first one, in my opinion. Yes, from what I've seen, it's been diverse through some fans, and also critics are just bashing on the film. But I also think if you look at the audience score, between the critics score, between all the Pirates of the Caribbean films, this one's the most split out of all of them, and this one actually is superseding a lot of the other Pirates films besides the first one. And I think it's right on course to bringing us back into the Pirates universe. It fixes some of the mythology building, it carries along the story, and it changes a lot of things with the movie franchise, and I like that about this movie. There's so much fun to be having it. The score is obviously fantastic. Captain Salazar is a great villain to be introduced into the villains of all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Javier Bardem played him in such an intimidating and engaging way that you really care for his character as well, and kind of wanted to see him kill Jack because of his motivations, but at the same time you wanted Jack Sparrow to live. The great thing also about this is that they pushed Captain Jack back into the background with other characters all getting spotlights as well, and I enjoyed that about this film. There's a lot to be had in this film, and a lot of fun and adventure times in this. There's a lot of, it doesn't really do anything new to the franchise, but it had a lot of fun with the franchise, and if you're looking for a fun movie to go watch, this kind of comes back to the first movie of the whole Pirates of the Caribbean. Of course, we're here. Our number 1 Pirates of the Caribbean film here is going to be Pirates of the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl. Let me tell you this, when they announced that they were making My Favorite Ride into a freaking movie, I said that is stupid. How are you going to make a ride, a Disneyland ride, an attraction that's very beloved by people, into a movie? But Disney did it. Disney did it so well in this. Gore Verbinski directed it and directed the hell out of this film. The CGI doesn't really hold up, though, I will say that. It still looks good, but it's obviously dated at the time. But Geoffrey Rush as Captain Barbossa is fantastic. I remember seeing this for the first time, I was so engaged with all the characters. Johnny Depp is Jack Sparrow in here. This is probably the best portrayal of Jack Sparrow, which makes sense for why he actually got nominated for an Oscar for this movie. Yes, if you didn't know, Johnny Depp actually got nominated for this movie. And Jack Sparrow really is an entertaining character in here, but he's also intimidating. He's not just the drunk and this legend. No, you actually see that legend of why he's Jack Sparrow. He actually is a good pirate in this. Yes, he is a little dumb in parts, but he's also a good swords fighter. You see all that in here. As the movies progress, this kind of has changed and dumbed his character down, especially in the last few. And that's probably my only complaint I really have about the last movie is that Captain Jack's the same way in there. A little fixed, but still the same way. And you're just like, come on, Jack. But this one, you're actually happy to see him. He's a fun character to be had. He knows how to fight. You see why he's actually a feared pirate. And that is something great to see, because when you look back on this film had a lot of great moments to it. The humor worked so well. The action set pieces are all fantastic. The skeletons, the curses that they brought in, the mythology building they had in this, all in one movie was such a great fun package. This is why overall this first Pirates movie is still the best Pirates movie. And I'd love to see them come back and just knock it out of the park with another one and show us that it can be as good as the first one. I mean, Fast and Furious did it, right? And the thing that made this movie so special, besides Jack Sparrow being such a surprise, it's just the main cast itself and Gore Verbinski really directing this film in such a unique flair. Gore Verbinski's always had his own directing flair to it. If you've seen any of his films, Cure for Wellness, any of the Pirates franchise, Rings, you all see it differently, but this film really shows it off, and he had such a great time with it, you can tell. And of course, this introduced us to the great Pirates of the Caribbean score that we get, and it was very surprising at the time to see a Disneyland ride actually turn into a great movie. And that's why Pirates of the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl is going to be the #1 Pirates of the Caribbean movie in the whole franchise. And this is my Pirates of the Caribbean ranking video from worst to best. If you guys enjoyed this and you want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe. And also comment down below and let me know what is your favorite Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And rank your list down below. Did you not disagree mine? Did you agree with mine? Do you think I should have ranked them a little bit differently? I'm really interested to hear what you guys say about Pirates of the Caribbean and the whole franchise itself. I think there's diehard fans of it, there's people who kind of just enjoy it, and there's people who really dislike the franchise overall. I really love this franchise. It's my favorite ride, like I said, at Disneyland, and I just love the whole mythology into it. You bring great mythology, you bring a character I really adore in the franchise, I'm gonna love this anyway. And guys, have a safe Memorial weekend and look out for more videos.